Tired of jumping through hoops to buy Bitcoin? Frustrated with endless paperwork and invasive identity checks? Introducing Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club's loan program. No KYC required. Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to freedom. Borrow up to $250,000 at as little as 7% interest. Join our community and take control of your financial future. Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where privacy meets opportunity. Connect with like-minded individuals and grow together. Visit us today and unlock your $250,000 Bitcoin loan. Your journey to financial freedom starts here.
And good morning. Good morning, everyone from lovely El Salvador. This is Bitcoin Thursdays with Dr. J, and I'm Dr. J. And I'm sitting here in my hotel room, and it's a beautiful view. Certainly has made me reflect on the events of the last 24 hours. But I do want to show you guys a little view. I'm going to turn my computer over so you can see this volcano and a helicopter going by it. I hope you guys can see it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. This is San Salvador, and this is the famous volcano where we are staying at the Hilton Hotel and looking at this. I wake up early, 5:30 in the morning, and I sit and pray. I sit and prayed, and I meditated, and I looked at this beautiful volcano. So that's the view that I have as I'm speaking with you and share with you some of my thoughts. I was just watching the videos on X, and he's there sitting cross-legged peacefully, speaking truths about transgender violence. And when he struck violently, with the assassin's bullet, and no doubt each one of you has heard that the great Charlie Kirk is no more. And a great shadow has fallen across our country. President Trump, I'm sure, was very pissed. I read his tribute as well, and he's flying the flags at half-mast today. It's a grief that is being felt by a nation, and it's far too close to the heart not to feel it. He was a son. Charlie Kirk was a husband, a leader, a truth teller, and he was just shot dead. And America will never be the same again. And we can relate to him, right? I think of my wife and little kids. I see his family. People see a son. People see a father. Each one of us can relate to this very, very American experience. Charlie Kirk was not just a student leader who spoke on college campuses. At this young age of 31, he was a force. He was a voice of freedom. He was a mirror holding it back against some of these leftist students who would come and speak to him abusively. And he was the Lamb of God. He never, created violence. He never asked for it. He spoke with his thoughts and ideas. He believed in faith. He believed that liberty itself comes from God. He believed in family, a beautiful family with his wife and kids. And he knew that America's strength begins at the dinner table. And certainly he believed in freedom for this great nation, for our great republic. I've got the American flag back there today because we're going to have an event in El Salvador where on one side we'll have the El Salvadorian flag and on the other we'll have the American flag. But he was there to remind us that the best days of America are ahead, that we should have hope. Just going from campus to campus, town to town, church to church, Charlie Kirk was telling young students that they're not victims, that they're not weak, that they can be builders and not beggars, not wait for someone to pay back your student loan. They needed to be warriors, not wards of the state, as the Democrats would like you to be. And the thing is that thousands of people attended his events. If you look at that video, the day he was shot yesterday, thousands of young boys and girls and men and women were out there wanting to hear what this young man had to say. Almost Trump-like, crowds. I mean, it was packed. But because of that, he became a threat. He became a threat to the progressives, the communists, the enemies of truth. They loathed him, not because he lied, because he spoke the truth. Not because he bowed down, because he refused to bend to the narrative. And I've seen the shows. They mocked him when he spoke of God. But he did. They sneered at him, when he defended family. But he did. And they raged when he invited American youth to step up and inherit their country. So he was a threat. He was an existential threat to the leftist communist political establishment, because I think the number was 47% of the Trump vote, the young voters that came out, Trump attributed to Charlie's grassroots level work. And so when they could not debate him anymore, and they could not stop his growing movement, and they couldn't stop the fire that he carried, the fire from freedom that he carried in his heart. And I personally believe when they saw in this young man who's pulling Trump-like crowds the potential to be a future president, they silenced him. They silenced him not with reason, not with persuasion, but with violence. The Democrats are a party of violence. This is a full-blown political assassination. Make no mistake about that. He was a future leader. He was a current leader, but he was going to do some great things. He had a great future ahead of him. And they wanted to make sure that the bench strength that Trump is building is not there. Kill the person who can already bring in thousands and thousands of people to his rallies. Imagine what he would do when he would run for president. This is a full-blown political assassination. So today we mourn. We mourn a beautiful wife without her husband, these two little children without their protector, Turning Point USA without its leader's voice. And the question I'm thinking to myself is, will we be the same? Will we ever be the same after witnessing what we have witnessed in the last week? 2 children are dead in Colorado because some crazy guy went to a school and shot him up yesterday. Charlie Kirk is dead. The day before that, Irina gets stabbed by this deranged black dude in the neck for sitting in the train. This is the reality, folks. This is the America we're living in now. So do I think we can continue as usual? Absolutely not. We will never be the same. Because when you cut down a truth teller, a Lamb of God who's never hurt anyone, who only speaks, who argues, who projects his voice in truth and in freedom, when you kill people like that, this nation, any nation, inches just that much closer to the abyss. But I'm hopeful. We won't be the same. We won't be the same. But Charlie Kirk's death and his assassination will perhaps become a rallying cry for the next generation. The very ones he taught, the very ones he inspired, he awakened. And maybe my son and his son and their sons will have sharper voices, will have fiercer hearts. And the man who was just silenced, they will not be able to kill the ideas and the principles for which he stood. You can bury him, which they will, but you cannot extinguish a whole generation that he will awaken from this. God bless his family. God bless his courage. So a line has been crossed. A line has been crossed yesterday. And it's not the first time in history that a line has been crossed. And I don't think it's the last. But every time a line like this is crossed, something changes. The world changes in ways that never goes back. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon, Rome shifted from being a republic, which is what we are today, by the way, to an empire. When the British troops fired into the Boston crowd, the American Revolution began. Each time a line is being crossed. And now with the death of Charlie Kirk, I think we're forced to say it again. A line has been crossed. There is a righteous anger that has been ignited. And we will not take it anymore from these deranged leftists, from these crazies, from these absolutely drug-filled, testosterone-jabbed transgenders who are killing people. We're not going to take it anymore. And so when a line gets crossed, here's what happens. We leave behind restraint. We leave behind the rules of engagement. And an act so terrible is committed, which is what happened yesterday, that a nation can't just keep pretending that it's business as usual. When Lincoln was assassinated, we traded reconciliation and dialogue for revenge. When Kennedy was murdered, the nation's optimism just died. We became suspicious of everything. When Martin Luther King was shot, all hope of nonviolence, the Gandhi-like purity of thought, was gone. That death was answered with blood. Each time America mourned one of its sons or daughters, each time America hardened. It changed. Not necessarily into something good. When 9/11 happened, a line was crossed. And the bad guys took advantage of it and made the rules that we all have to be strip searched at airports now while the borders remained open under Biden. I think this time the line has been crossed in many different ways. I was thinking about what a society really is at its very core, at its fundamental, our society, what we call civil society, right? And what is crossing of that line? The first principle of civil society is sanctity of life. It's a basic covenant that we will not murder each other for politics or for any other reason. So when violent crime becomes the answer to speech, that sanctity of life has been violated. Now, today with Charlie Kirk's death, what is it telling us? We're no longer competing in the marketplace of words, but at the barrel of a gun. The question is that the reality that you and I now need to live in? Is that exactly the reality that we must wake up to every morning? That we have a disagreement, we don't agree on a principle, that we shoot each other? Because that's not civil society. That's not rule of law. See, the other thing about civil society is that we believe in the rule of law. Law says that justice will be blind, it'll be impartial, it'll be steady-handed. And when assassins operate with impunity, whether it's President Trump being shot or now Charlie Kirk being shot, the laws are being bent to excuse violence. Look at these crazy judges who are letting career criminals, people who have been arrested 14 times. They're being let out of jail with no cash bonds. And they're going out in civil society and in cold blood murdering people, innocent people. How can society survive if that is allowed, where the rules mean nothing? The society cannot remain the same if we don't have the basic principles of rules of law. And then there's freedom of speech. Our society, if we are not allowed to speak freely, think of what assassination is. It's the most brutal form of censorship. It kills both the speaker and his speech. So what is Charlie Kirk's assassination telling us? What is telling me? If I speak the truth, I should be next. If Ben speaks the truth, Ben should be next. That line has been crossed. Do we now need to arm ourselves so heavily in our own cities and our own offices and our own homes because we choose to speak the truth and the crazy leftists don't like it, or somebody pumped with drugs doesn't like it, and they're just going to come and shoot me? Well, truth seekers are now getting murdered. That's where the line has been crossed. And it also reflects a lack of trust in institutions. Civil society has institutions, the press, the government, the banks, the schools. When leaders are killed, these institutions look weak. They're incapable to protect the civilians, and people lose faith. And you know, when people lose faith in the very institutions that form society, they start to take law into their own hands. That's a society that's breaking down. That's a society that's degenerating. And the very basic premise, which is the covenant of community, a society, a shared belonging, we belong to a country, we belong to our Bitcoin Ben Club. It is the sense that we are one people. We have the same culture. We have same values. That fabric, this assassination is designed to shatter that fabric, to drive a wedge deeper. And the message is clear. We are no longer neighbors in disagreement. We are enemies at war, a war without rules. That is what it means to cross that line. So anyone who is right now laughing at Charlie Kirk's death, at his assassination, you're no longer my neighbor who I disagree with on this principle or another. You are my enemy. We are at war because you are evil and I'm good. I'm righteous. I'm going to stand for freedom, and I'm going to fight for what is good and right. That line has been crossed. This is not merely about politics, guys. This is not merely about even civil liberties. This is about our whole society and civilization itself. What is happening around us, you're seeing the unraveling of society as we know it. Our social fabric is being torn piece by piece. And a new America will be born from this. You will remember this moment and this day, because I don't think people in America want to take this anymore. How does it manifest itself? What are we asking? Are we saying we go to civil war? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we have a choice. Every time a line like this gets crossed, we have a choice Of course, we are grieving. A nation is grieving. But we have to stay resolute. We have to bring our thoughts and prayers and ideas to the table to build a better America, not weapons. I do not believe that weapons can shape America's destiny. I believe thoughts and prayer and ideas can. And as this line gets crossed, we cannot go back. And at least here at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, and I had dinner with Ben last night and Janet, who was in town as well in El Salvador. And we had a beautiful dinner. And we had a pledge. And as Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club leaders and members, we pledge that we will honor the sanctity of life. We pledge that we will restore the rule of law. We pledge that we will defend free speech. We will rebuild trust. We will renew our community one club at a time. And perhaps, just perhaps, from this very dark crossing that we're going through right now, will emerge not a broken, but a nation reborn. And that has to start with every heart and every mind. And our club is about freedom. Each one of our clubs is a beacon of freedom. And we will keep burning that fire till the cows come home. That is our pledge to Charlie Kirk. That is our pledge to the nation. We will always stand for freedom and all things that define freedom, whether it's banking, and I'll come right back after these message from our sponsors. Sherpa, will you take that? When I come back, I'll talk about how we are going to do something actionable to honor the life of Charlie Kirk. Cut to ad, please.
Hey, Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club members, are you ready to take your crypto game to the next level? Well, buckle up because we've got something huge for you. As a member of the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, you're already part of the future of finance. But what if you could stack even more Bitcoin without waiting? That's right. We're talking about exclusive loans designed just for you. Through the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, you can apply for a fast member-only loan. Use the cash to buy Bitcoin right now while the market's hot, and watch your stack grow as the revolution unfolds. It's simple. Call us, get approved, and turn that loan into Bitcoin. Pay it back on your terms while you HODL like a pro. Why wait for the moon when you can fuel the rocket yourself? This isn't just a loan, it's your ticket to owning more of the future. And because you're part of our tight-knit community, you get VIP access to rates and support outsiders can only dream of. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your phone and call or text 941-413-6920 to apply now and start stacking SATs today. The Bitcoin revolution waits for no one, especially not you. Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where members don't just HODL, we build. See you on the blockchain.
Man, I love these AI-generated ads. HODL and Satoshis aren't pronounced correctly. We'll have to fix that ad. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to the Bitcoin Thursdays with Dr. J. I'm Dr. J, and we're going to honor Charlie Kirk. And we're going to honor him by embracing the greatest thing he fought for, freedom. That's what we'll define ourselves by. As a tribute to freedom, you see my hat today? It says Private Key Capital. We got these new hats made. Today is a very important day. The reason Ben and myself and Janet, we're here in San Salvador is because we're going to be voted into the board, and formally, there's a very formal process through which we will take over the credit union that we have purchased, and we will be setting the chart and sailing the course now towards freedom. And why is this freedom bank? Why is this a freedom bank? You see, money is not neutral. It never has been neutral. Money has been used by kings and governments and central banks to basically control the people. They inflate it, debase it, weaponize it. It's always the same story. The rich people get powerful, and the poor people suffer, and freedom is taken away. Think of today, right? Central bank printing trillions, and yet you and I pay a bigger price at the grocery store. So freedom cannot survive. The same freedom that Charlie Kirk talked about cannot survive if money itself is corrupted. Now, Charlie understood that at a cultural level, that lies enslave people. We understand it from a financial perspective, that broken money, every Bitcoiner understands this. Every one of you understands this. That broken money also enslaves people, and we have to fight back. So when in 21 El Salvador declared that Bitcoin could become the national currency, people laughed. They laughed, just like they mocked Charlie Kirk. But it's going to end in awe, shock and awe, a real shock for the system, and awe for a lot of the people who are sitting on the sidelines believing that they can live in their fool's paradise of fiat money. See, when in our credit union, we can hold Bitcoin as treasury. We can issue Bitcoin-backed accounts. We can lend against Bitcoin as collateral. What we are saying to the people, the free people of this world, it's your money. You own it. And your future is not for sale. This is financial freedom. And by building this credit union and spreading the word of what we are doing, we are actually honoring Charlie. Now, I say credit union. This is very important. We are a credit union, not a bank. This is genius because the choice of a credit union is very important. A bank is obliged to serve its shareholders. A credit union serves its members. You see the difference? A bank extracts. A credit union circulates. By anchoring our credit union in this institutionality of Bitcoin, we are creating a structure that resists capture, from the same institutions that have landed us where we are. See, when every deposit is secured not by a promise, but by mathematics, by hash functions. Every loan we are going to give out is tethered not to political favors, but it's tethered to a transparent collateral called Bitcoin that's held transparently in that account. And every member of a credit union has ownership, not just access. This is financial democracy, the ballot box of money, the ballot box that keeps the ballot safe. That is the very thing that tyrants fear. You see, Charlie Kirk gave American young kids a voice. What we're going to do at this credit union, we're going to give you a vault. Different tools, same principle. Self-ownership, that's freedom. So when this line is crossed, as we build this credit union into a structure that allows us, we the people, we the members of the club and the credit union, to keep our money in our control, and we can give it to our next generation and the next without someone else being able to take it away, without someone else being able to devalue it. that's when the line gets redrawn. It gets redrawn with freedom. And freedom is generational. It has to be taught. It has to be inherited. It has to be fought for. Charlie gave this world a way to think differently, to speak without fear. And now, as we build these financial tools, you will be able to live differently. You'll be able to live without chains. That is what we are trying to do here in El Salvador. Now, very recently, and I'm talking about the last week here, Ben was able to go and find us a fantastic location in West Palm Beach. And you've heard about it. It's literally a stone's throw away from Mar-a-Lago. But what was really led by God was the fact that of all the buildings that we found that we could have gotten for ourselves, this particular building was a bank. It used to be a bank. It has a big old vault inside it. It has bulletproof glass on one side. It was a bank which was, I suppose, bequeathed to a church. So it belongs to a church. So we've got God, and we have a bank, and we have leased it for the next 10 years. And so the El Salvador Credit Union is going to be our back office, our clearinghouse of operations, our ability to take care of all the financial details and transactions, the liquidity pools, the loan, the architecture, the software, the rails. And we will be able to make our West Palm Beach location into the headquarters for our credit union. So we will have our physical location in the United States from where we can serve many of our US customers. Now, of course, we have greater ambitions. We will be serving the El Salvadorian people. We will be serving Panamanians and Guatemalans and Haitians and Mexicans and, all of this region, Costa Rica. So we are going to become initially more of a regional entity as we continue to expand our footprint. But we have now a home within the United States where our credit union is going to be centering its operations. And from there we spread. So we have been given an opportunity. We have been led to this. And the greatest way in which we can pay a tribute to freedom is by actually living and building everything that supports freedom. Financial freedom is one of the most powerful ways in which we can bring freedom to ourselves, to our families, and to our country. I'm going to keep it a little short today because we have to go downstairs at the Hilton Hotel and set up all the stages, do all these things. So in closing, let's just honor Charlie Kirk. Say to the next generation, your time has come. This is your freedom. Hold on to it. Don't let it go. And we certainly pray, and may God bless Charlie Kirk's family. May God bless America. May God bless you. And may God bless the eternal flame of freedom for which we will fight at the Bitcoin Ben Club. Thank you for the time that you gave me today. I'm honored by it. Please go out and have a blessed day. And just remember that freedom is everything. And everything we do and everything we say and everything we work for, let's ensure that it goes towards bringing freedom to our sons and daughters and to this great country of ours for generations ahead. God bless you. God bless America.
Tired of jumping through hoops to buy Bitcoin? Frustrated with endless paperwork and invasive identity checks? Introducing Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club's loan program. No KYC required. Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to freedom. Borrow up to $250,000 at as little as 7% interest. Join our community and take control of your financial future. Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where privacy meets opportunity. Connect with like-minded individuals and grow together. Visit us today and unlock your $250,000 Bitcoin loan. Your journey to financial freedom starts here.